morning, everyone. I'm Cynthia for Artbeads Cafe.
Hi, and I'm Sherry.
Yes, and you know what we forgot?
What?
Let's have a drink of coffee. We forgot our coffee. We need that today, right?
Oh, we need it.
Mine is a really good one. I don't know yours, but anyway, thank you for joining us today. So today we're pretty excited. We're going to show you how to do embroidery around a cabochon. And some of you been asking for us to do a video. So we thought, what about doing that live? Like that you can answer question. You can, ask us questions directly and we can answer them. And so if you are watching this video on Facebook, please remember to share it to inspire other people, friends or family. And if you are watching this on YouTube, remember to subscribe to our channel, artbeads.com. We have so many videos where we show you how to bead. And please give up some likes also.
Marisol says, hello, lovely Cynthia and Sherry. Jimmy says hi. Trisha says, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning. I hope you're ready for doing some embroidery. This is one of my favorite things to do.
I was really looking forward to this one this morning. I love this part.
Yes. So it's not a very fast process. So I have things that already on the side that I can pick it up and show you, but it's really rewarding. Of course, it takes more time than doing anything else, but it's really your creation. You can do any type the way that you want. And I have here almost all my creation, and we have some of Sherry also, and we will talk about them a little more in details later, and I will let you know how I build them and how we come up with this. But it's really, really something that I wish I could do all the time.
Right. Just every day.
Just every day. And the thing is, you can use buttons, you can use cabochon, you can use beads. There are so many things you can use. You can use a piece of stone that you find out there and do embroidery around it.
Nice.
So let's talk about the material that you need. So first you need to find a cabochon, and I have here a power. Do you say power?
Yeah.
A cabochon is really beautiful, comes from New Zealand, and I already glue it on this bead backing. So the bead backing is very important, and we have here, so you have this black one or this white one, and it's pretty stiff, and you need that to support the beads and being able to sew very easily on it. So bead backing is one thing very important. Then we use the gem tag, and the gem tag is a glue that I think is really great for that. And I find that I have to apply the glue twice. I don't know if you find that, Sherry.
I've heard, I didn't this time, but that's what I usually do. I usually put a little on the piece, little on the place,
Right,
kind of smooth out, let it even set a little, and then just put a little bit more.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yay.
Because I find that the bead backing will get,
Kind of absorbs it.
Yes,
Okay.
very quickly. So you need to do that twice, and then it's glue. It's perfect. What you need, I like to use little needle for that. I usually, I'm a big tulip fine needles because I like they really long. But for type of work, I like to use very small needle. This is is a size 12 from Bismuth.
And little. I haven't used a little needle in a long time. A short one, I mean.
Yes,
I use long. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try and hang on to it.
Then you need some beading thread. So you can use 1G, you can use the KO thread. This is from Miyuki, this is from Toho. They both work really well. They're really nice for embroidery. And what I love with those two brands is the colors that they offer that you can use. So those are really great. Then when you're done with your piece, you need a back to cover all the stitches, because you're going to see you have tons of stitches on the bead backing, so you need another back. Well, you don't need to spend a lot of money for that. What I do, I go in a craft store and I buy those felt. So I like to choose felt that have a print on them, design on them. See how those are really
pretty.
They're very pretty. Yes, and then it gives your design something really pretty in the back. Let's see which one I use.
Mary's asking, have you ever backed with leather? How do you finish that type of project?
I did, and I think I use one. I use a suede. Leather, I think it will be hard.
A little tougher to maybe get a needle through. But
yes.
If it's thinner or soft, I would think that you could use it.
Yes, a very soft leather, very yes. But remember, you have to go through that, and I know they have needles. They are a little bigger. But then if you use small beads, you have to make sure that your needles go through the beads also.
Right. Yeah.
So those are things to consider. I love the felt because I find it pretty cheap, and there are so many, different types. And I do like to have a design like that in the back of it. So it's a choice, you know, what you like. But really think about the bead backing. This one is a big foundation. This is really important for doing your embroidery. It's stiff, it holds very well, and I just love it. Scissors, you need a really good pair of scissors, something really small. This is great. Or you can use also a thread burner. That's fine too, but scissors are fine. And did I miss something else? Beads. You need beads. So what choice of beads? Well, it all depends of your cabochon first. So this one I want to show you it's a little thick. So to cover that, I started with a 8-aught bead, and then we will go to a 11-aught bead. So let me show you a project that has almost finished. So this is pretty much what we want to do. So you have the 8-aught here, and then the 11-aught here, and then the rest is all 11. But you can use anything else. Let's see quickly what we have around us. Like on here, I use some 8-aughts, and then I use some Swarovski beads. So you can really play with what type of beads you want. On this one, I use, that was a pretty thick cabochon, so I went with some Swarovski beads. I think it's a 6mm. And then I play with soutache, and then some 8-aught seed beads, and then the Swarovski again. And then I use some little 11-aught beads, and even some O beads here on the side. I don't know if you can see. So all those designs, by the way, are on our website, so you can easily find them. This is what I like in embroidery. You can use so many different types of beads.
Right. So whatever suits
exactly
your whim.
Exactly.
And the piece that you're starting with, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's start, and then I will talk later about more of the pieces. So Becky has to go around me for you to see better. And you start by making a knot. Let's see if I can make a double knot here.
Marianne says hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Genia says, such impressive pieces.
Oh, thank you.
And Holly says, bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Oh, it must be night time where you are then. So first, make a double knot on your thread. And I'm using black because I want you to see better the thread. But on my sample, I use white thread. The reason is because the beads I can add light, and I didn't want to lose the light on the beads, and that's why I use white. And also for the backing, we have black or we have white. On this one, I use also a white color because the beads that I'm going to use, like these, you see they're transparent, so it's going to be better on white. If I use black, you might see in between the black, if you look closely, you might see in between the black.
Mary's asking, what thread are you using?
This one is the KO thread because I wanted to show you black, but you can use, like I said, you can use the 1G or the KO thread. Both of them works really well. Okay, so when you have to do first, so you have to bring your thread up, and I want to be really close to my cabochon here. Oh, one more thing that I have to say, when you glue your cabochon, make sure that the glue doesn't come out on your backing. The reason is because it happened to me, and then when you want to put your needle, there is no way you can poke the needle through the glue. So make sure that the glue doesn't go outside. I had this mistake with, like, yes, okay. really close.
Okay.
And Barbara said she missed how the cabochon was applied to the backing.
Oh, the cabochon, we just glue it, and we use the gem tag glue, and we apply it twice. So like Sherry said, you apply a little on the backing, on your cabochon, you kind of rub a little, and then you apply again, because the backing will really absorb the glue very fast. So it's very easy. And then you let it sit for a while, but for about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I can start working. So you start with 2 beads. And I know there is a name for that technique. Do you remember, Vicky?
It's the 2 seed bead back stitch.
There we go. So this is really basic, very easy, and I use that all the time. So I have my 2 beads here, and I want them, so you see how they tend to slide like that. So I want to bring the beads very close to where I started, like that. And then I'm gonna bring the needle back inside, and I want it to be very close to my bead and close to my cabochon too. So I'm gonna go.
So you're going back through the backing?
Through the backing, yes.
So very close to the last bead that you put on. Okay, so okay, gotcha.
Yes. And then I'm gonna go back up, and I want to be really close to the first bead. So it takes you a time to guess where it is. There we go. Here's my needle. And then I'm gonna bring my thread through those 2 beads, like that. And you see that I have the length of my thread is really long. It's about 1 yard, and I like working with long thread like that. So now I'm ready to add more beads, and you always go 2 by 2. I say always, but you for some project, if they are really big, some people do 4 by 4 also. So I have 2 beads on my thread. I'm bringing those beads close to the other ones, and a lot of time I'm kind of pushing them together, and then I'm bringing my needle very close to the last bead. Okay, here I go down like that. Oops. So now you remember I went back closer to the first bead, and this is what I'm gonna do. So I had 2 beads here. I want to be close to, going up close to that bead, that first bead. So you just have to figure it out with your needle. Where is it? It's here. Here is my needle. Like that. And then you go through those 2 beads. How are you doing, Sherry?
I'm okay.
It's a really easy technique. It's very relaxing after a while when you get it, because that's all you do. And you see what I did also with my nail and my thread. I put on my thread and I push on my beads to make them get together.
Nice and snug. Huh?
Okay, to snug this.
Okay.
So I have 2 more. I'm ready to add 2 more. So I'm taking 2 more beads. Bring them close to the other beads, like that, and I'm kind of pushing with my needle. And I want to go back very close to the beads that I just add. and then so I added those 2 beads, and I want my needle to go in front of that first bead. So I'm trying to figure out where is it.
I moved the mic closer for people saying they were having trouble hearing.
Okay, so is it clear now? Let us know if you cannot hear. And then I go back to those 2 beads that I just added.
Holly says she's viewing from southern France.
Oh, really cool. Where? Because I have family in Provence, in the south of France. And I was there last year. Love the south of, love it. Okay, ready to put 2 more beads. And that's all you do. So I'm going to try to go faster. So I'm pushing my beads like that. I'm pushing my needles very close to the bead and the cabochon. And then bring my thread. And then I need to bring my needle back in front of the first bead. It's here. Is it clear for everyone? Everyone can see? Now I go back through those 2 beads. And I like to push the beads with my fingers and pull on my thread. Everything tied up.
Keeps them nice and lined up and close together. Yeah.
So you keep going. And I will show you, of course, how to add the second row and how to glue the backing. And we're going to finish this thing. So pushing those 2 beads, putting my needle in front of it.
Holly says she is in the Hérault near Montpellier.
Ooh.
Southwest of Provence.
Ooh, I've never been to Montpellier. One day.
Sherry says she can see and hear.
Oh, good. So then I go back to those 2. And then you pull. So I'm pushing my beads and I'm pulling my thread to snug them. Like that. Again, 2 bead. It is really relaxing to do this, by the way. Sherry's saying nothing beside me.
Because I'm so relaxed.
She's very quiet. She's like, don't bother me.
In the zone here.
In the zone.
Yeah.
Rodney said this is beadtastic.
Oh, great.
Yay.
Yeah, if you have never tried bead embroidery, it is not as difficult as you can think. And I just love it. So the thing is, I learned to do bead embroidery because I heard about this artist called Sherry Serafini, and she is amazing. So I bought her book, and this is how I started embroideries, because of her book. And Sherry, do you mind bringing those books? So I don't think we have those books online, but this is, so she did this one with another person, Heidi Cooney. I love those books. They've explained very well. They have simple projects in them. On this one, they explain how to use the colors, how to think about themes, and they explain the stitches. I really recommend those 2 authors.
Someone's asking about the thread. Yours is a yard long, but how short can the thread be? She has limited shoulder movement.
You can do half a yard. That's fine, because this is a backing, right? So when you your thread is short and you need to replace your thread, well, when you go, let me add my 2 beads first, and I can show you. So I'm adding my 2 beads.
Michelle says if she wasn't painting, she would bead along.
Oh, Or you can replay the video and bead along.
Right, while that paint is drying.
Yes. So when you have to change your thread, you just go in the back like that. You make a knot, cut your thread, then add another thread just by going back to, you remember,
the same spot.
The same spot. Not the same spot, but we always have to go back to the
beginning of the two beads.
Yes, yes. So it's that simple. So that's the beauty of embroidery. Don't worry about how much thread you need. It's very easy to add a new length.
Sherry, can we see that book again? Yeah. Tim's asking what the name of the book.
Yeah, and the one in the bottom is really is my favorite actually.
Okay, so this one was The Art of Bead Embroidery, and that's with Heidi Kumley and Sherry Serafini. And then this is.
And look at this one. I put sticky notes everywhere because.
Sherry Serafini Sensational Bead Embroidery. And this is a favorite of Cynthia's. I'll flip through so you can see some of the amazing. I'll get into some meat here. Look at that.
Yes, and that can be very, overwhelming, but she does have some very simple projects and
with great diagrams. I'm at figure 3. I don't feel like you have to understand that because she starts at figure 1, right? Just really nicely done, and then just beautiful. Look at these pieces.
Yes, so she showed you also how she started with her project like that. Here we're working with only one bead, so you don't have to plan things. But if you want to do something complicated like that, you have to plan. By the way, in here, my bead backing, I cut it in a small size because I knew how many beads I wanted to put. But a lot of time when I start, I don't know how many rounds of beads I'm gonna do. So usually I have a bigger square around my cabochon just in case if I need to do many rows.
Beth mentioned Sherry Serafini has made pieces for rock stars.
Yeah,
yes, yes. She is so talented. So thank you, Sherry Serafini. You're the one who helped me to start in this. So I'm almost done. So I'm trying to go as fast as possible to show you the little trick that I do and how to add the second row. Remember, when you work with long length of thread, have your table around you pretty clean, otherwise you're gonna catch everything around you. That happens to you, Sherry, right?
Yes.
Okay, here I'm adding my 2 beads. And then I'm pushing those beads and I'm pushing my needle in. Oops. Then I go back to the first one. Where is it? It's here. What I like to do here on the back, for example, I like to squeeze my thread together to prevent any knot from the thread. I go through those 2 beads. And here also you can hold your thread like that, and that will prevent also any knots to form. So I'm pulling, pushing to tight everything. Almost done. Oops, I went too far. And the thing that is easy also, if you do a row and then you decide, oh no, I don't like these colors, they don't go together, well, just cut the thread and you can take all the beads out and do it again. Happens to me several times. Okay, 2 more here. So far, Vicky, does it seem like everyone is okay with that? Okay.
Yolanda says it's pretty.
Thank you. That, and then
Betty Jo says it looks gorgeous. It would look great in some applications on my quilted art pieces.
Ooh, yes. Sherry and I say the same thing. What is great is you can have a little piece like that and glue somewhere else, like you see on a quilt, or sew somewhere else. I mean, so now I'm thinking, okay, can I put 2 beads? I can put 2 beads. I will like to put 2 beads instead of just 1. If I put just 1, then there is a space here. But when I put my beads, you feel like, oh, I don't know if it will fit. Yeah, you can. Just push that first bead here. Bring your thread through. And that should fit. I like when it's snug and tight.
When you can get to. Are there some times when you just can't get to?
No, I'm always able to. Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes instead of finishing with 2, you finish with 3 beads.
Okay.
Okay, so you remember after that I usually go through 2 beads. Well, when I look at my beads here, and it's because of the shape of the beads also, I see some little holes here and there. So I want to tie this a little more. So what I do, I go inside all the beads. So I bring my needle through all the beads and I tie it.
Judy's asking, do you use a special needle?
I like to use those little short needles, and this is a number 12, so they're a little thick, they're short, and yeah, I prefer short like that.
And then Cindy asked, are there more than one technique for the first row? I learned to peyote around the first row.
Yes, you can do that too. So when you do your first row like that, and then if your cabochon is a little still high, or you want to cover with some other bead, you can do a peyote stitch around it. Didn't you do that in yours, Sherry? I thought you had one like that.
This one, I think.
So Sherry did a first row here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she added some beads on top. And so and you did a peyote.
I did a peyote on top of, yeah, did a peyote on top, and then a second row with smaller 15-aught beads in between that first row of 11s, I'm going to say. So yeah, you can build peyote to the outside as well if you want to. I went up and around the center, but you can go out that way too.
Yes.
Oops.
So I've been going around and I've been pulling, and I can see that it starts to close. And to make things even more secure, I like to do a second time. You might not need, and you see as I'm pulling, I can see that my beads, they getting a little tighter. And you might not need to do that every time, but it's kind of a thing that I like to do. Don't pull too hard and break your thread. It's just a little tug like that.
Gabriella says, gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
With hearts.
Oh, thank you. I love those cabochon. They're beautiful.
Okay, Cynthia, can I get your advice?
Yes.
So here I am getting near the end, and I have 2 beads on, but I definitely have a little room there.
Yes.
So you would put 3? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, let's see.
Or would you
can I just
do
hold it?
Would you do those 2 and then try and do 2 more?
Well, maybe not. Sometimes I do like that and see. Try to put a third one on your thread right now.
Right now, okay.
And then we can see. And if there is not enough space, then you can just tie the beads like I did and go through over and over.
So if I kind of...
Yep. You can do 3. Yep.
Okay, cool.
So I'm pretty much done with that. So like I'm saying, if you cannot put a third one, just put two, and then you can tie your beads by just putting your thread there and just pull and pull like I've been doing. So now I want to add a second row. So what I do is I just bring my needle inside and to go in
through
the back,
backing.
through the backing, yes. And then I need to have my needle on the side of the bead. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go there and try to be as close as possible to the bead. Like that. And then I'm gonna choose, let's see, let's do those little greens here, they're really cute. So I'm going with a smaller bead this time. That was an 8/0. I'm going with the 11/0 because I know that I'm going to do just one row, and then I will stop and do my closing. So it's the same technique. You're taking two beads. You see how my thread is coming out very close to that 8/0 bead. So I took two small beads, bring them on the side, and when I put them down like that, they tend to fall down, so I like to bring them up as close as I can to the beginning of the thread. And then the same, I'm bringing my needle through the backing, and then going back up close to the first bead here. See, my needle is right there. And I have a knot, but usually they just there we go.
That's the beauty of that thread.
It is when you have good thread, sometimes the knot can be easily be untied. So now I'm going through those two beads like I did before. Oops. There, and I like to pull on my beads, push on my beads and pull on my thread, and it's exactly the same. So you pick up two beads.
So it's the 2 seed bead back stitch again.
Exactly. But you beside, instead of being beside the cabochon, now you're beside the other beads. So I push my bead up to make them fit, bring my needle through the backing, and then I need to go in the front of that bead, the first bead of the two that I just added, and then going through those two beads. So you keep going like that. You finish your row exactly like I did before, and then if you want to tie them up, you go through all the beads again like I did before, and then to finish you go down and you make a knot in the back. So let's go to the next step, because those beads are really small. It's gonna take a very long time, not a very long time, but
longer than
yes, to finish. So I'm gonna grab, I'm sorry, Becky, and this is the step. I'm gonna go. So I did here, I finished my second row, and I did some knots. You know, I knot my thread. So now I need to cut it and glue on another backing. So I'm going to show you that. So you have to pay attention to how you cut. So that's a little tricky. So what I like to do is take my work on the other side, and I can see my bead there. But what you don't want to do is cut your thread, and I'm hoping you can see the thread here. Be very, very careful to not cut the thread.
Cindy says, what happens when you have an irregular shaped focal? Do the beads have a problem lining up?
It will be a little trickier, yes. I don't think... Okay, let me show you this one. So the focal here is that filigree. And you see how it's round like that? So I was able to still put my 11 art beads around it.
And then Mary's asking, the needle you're using, is it bendable like a beading needle?
No, it's pretty strong. This is why I like it. And because it's short also.
Yeah, but it is a beading needle, right?
It is a beading needle, yes. Yes. This is the one that I use.
It's just not as bendable as the longer ones.
Yes, exactly. The one that I use for doing my rings, for example, they're pretty long usually. And they bend after a while, but it's normal. We have a lot of beads that bend, and there is nothing you can do. Oh, Sherry, that's really cute.
Yeah.
Yes, so Sherry now has to decide what other beads you want. How many rows you want. I mean, do you want to do more than 2 rows?
Right.
So if you want to do more than 2 rows, you can add another 8 art beads. That's fine.
Oh, there we go.
So you just...
Well, why don't I try that since you're doing small ones?
Okay.
Oh, but which one?
That's the most difficult part.
Maybe not.
Jenny just came in and she's asking, what kind of thread are you using?
Right now I'm using the KO thread from Miyuki, but you can use also the 1G. They both a beading thread and they work really, really well.
Barbara's asking, do you have to use the same size beads for each row? Can the size of the beads vary in the same row?
In the same row, why not? I'm trying to think, did I ever done that? The thing is, if you change your size of the bead, then when you do the second row, you're gonna have some gap. So you're gonna have to fill that gap if one bead is smaller than the other one. But yes, that can be a really cool design too. I don't do that a lot. I did this one. I try on this one. So what I did here, I did a peyote around that. I did an 8 out bead. Here I have some Swarovski bead. And here I did, let's see, what are those? Those are little Super Uno. Yeah. I did some Super Uno, a seed bead, a Super Uno, like that. And then I finished with a Swarovski. And then here I did some, what are those?
I think those are dragon scales, aren't they?
Yes.
Very Game of Thrones.
So some dragon scale here and some seed bead on top.
Jeannie is asking, what about using buttons, like a shanked button?
Yes, you can. And I did use some buttons too. So with the shank button, what you can do is... let's see, I think, no, this one was not a button. Which one? Oh,
Those
these
were buttons. Yeah.
Sorry, Sherry. So I did use, those are buttons, 3 big buttons. And what I did is the shank is right here. I couldn't take it out. I couldn't bend it. Sometimes you can bend it, but I just did this way. You can still see it. It doesn't bother me at all when I wear it, so it's possible.
Yeah, sometimes you can cut them off, and sometimes you can just, if you can't, you can cut a hole in that bead backing to get it down flush, right?
Yes.
And sometimes, since you brought that up, sometimes it can take several layers. So this piece, I used this Swarovski crystal eye, and it's very deep. And so I actually made a little well for it in the bead backing so that I could get rows around it and still have material to work with, but not have it sticking, way up. So whatever it takes, you can do several different things.
Yes, and I think there is an idea that I did like that also, where I did several backing, and it is on the website, I think. So.
And Jenny's asking, do you work with natural gemstones?
I didn't have the opportunity to find one that was flat enough, but you can, definitely. Yes, I mean, if you're talking about being the centerpiece, yes, there are some gemstones that flat, and there are cabochon made of gemstone also that you can use, and you can definitely use them around the cabochon too. Yes, it all depends of the size, it all depends of the design that you want. Again, this is why I love working with bead embroidery, because you can be very, very you can do whatever I want to say. So this is, I think that was a pendant, and you see how it was pretty thick, so I did 2 layers of the seed beads, and then I just add those scale like that, and that's on the side too. So okay, let me show you how to cut. So a lot of time what I do is I make a first cut and I go pretty far away from my stitches, and then I will slowly go back to it. So you don't want to leave a big piece of fabric like that. You want it very close to the bead, but at the same time be careful of your stitches. So now I'm gonna go, and I tend to angle my, my scissors on the side like that, and then try to cut slowly.
Marisol's asking, do you find it easier to use smaller scissors?
Yes, definitely. Smaller and pointy, sometimes you really need to, go through. Yeah, definitely. Sherry, do you use small scissors too?
For this sort of thing I do. I usually use those big old sewing scissors for pretty much everything. But for something like this where you need to be really careful in getting close,
yes,
then yes, definitely.
Yes.
Cindy's asking how you added 2 layers on your bird pendant, like the second layer on top.
Yes. And to tell you the truth, I cannot remember.
She's asking, did you go through the top of the bottom beads?
Yes.
Looks like you maybe did a back stitch or square stitch.
Yes.
To add maybe 2 at a time.
And I think, because this is not, look, this is not resting on the backing. So I probably went through the bead, add my 2 bead, went through the bead, add my 2 beads like that. I made that a while ago, so sorry, I cannot remember right away. But it's probably on the site, and you can look at the site idea. Sorry. After making so many pieces, there is a time where I cannot remember things. Okay, so now I'm looking and I can see there's still a little piece here, a piece here. So I'm checking where are my stitches. This is fine, so I can cut that off to make it smoother. Let's see other side. Again here, I like it shorter. Here too. So you just go slowly, take your time. It happened to me that I cut my stitches and then all your beads are free. So that was not fun. So now I'm more careful when I cut my backing. That, and sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I have a stitch right there, I cannot be closer than that. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so I think that should be good enough. And then I'm just gonna grab some backing, and I think I'm gonna go with the gray. And very easy, I'm just placing my work like that, and I'm just gonna cut around it. Oh, Sherry, can I have the gem tag, please? Thank you. And then I'm gonna glue that. So what I like to do with the glue, I like to put the glue on the stitches. This is a security also. So then I know, especially on my knots, I put all around my stitches like that. You see, I put really, for me it's like, okay, the stitches are glued. There is no way now they're gonna fall apart. So I do put quite a lot of glue. And you see how the backing is already absorbing it really fast. And then press my cabochon on it, and then I just press on it to make sure that it really glues. So when I'm not live, I'm doing this home, I will wait about 10 minutes before I can do anything else, but you guys are watching, so I'm gonna go faster. Okay, so now I just need to cut that felt, and I'm just gonna follow the white backing here. And take your time also, go slowly. Like that. Okay. So after that I will show you how to add the row of beads that will hide those backing. Okay. So make sure that it's not too much of fabrics coming out. You can do it, Sherry. You can do it.
No, I'm doing it. This is fun.
Oh, okay. I think
Sherry's
Sherry's relaxing and she's breathing.
Now I'm focused.
She's focused.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should be good.
Fun.
So then taking my needles, and you want a good length because you're gonna go around, and I made a knot on my thread.
Ooh, Marisol said this would make a good ring.
Yes, it would. Yeah, so it'd be cool. So now what you want to do is to hide those pieces of backing, and to do this we're gonna sew some bead, and that's called, and to do that you do a brick stitch. So I'm gonna use some let me use some other beads like that you see better. I will use this light green, and those are 11/8. Okay, so first I want to bring my thread inside, so I'm gonna go, let's see, I'm gonna go here in between those beads, and I'm gonna go through the bead backing and the felt. So my needle is here. My needle is a little too far away from the edge, so I want to bring my needle a little closer to the edge of this gray backing. So I'm going to do it again. There. And then you have the knot coming here, and what I do is then I'm going to hide the knot, and I'm pushing that thread inside. There we go. So now you're taking a bead, so I have a bead here, I'm going to place it here, okay, and you see how I'm pushing also with my finger to bring those two backing together. And then I'm going to bring my needle, okay, so I'm trying to catch here the white backing. So I'm gonna go through the white backing and the gray, and I want to come out very close to my bead. It's taking me a little longer because my work is away from my eyes. So I'm trying to figure out where am I. There we go. So this is my bead. I went through the white backing, the gray backing, so putting my thread there, and then I'm going back inside the bead, so from the front to the back here. Let's see, let's pull that. So that, and I'm going to put on my thread. And what you're going to see is that bead, it's sitting up. So this is what we want. We want all the beads to sit up. And Sherry, can you just grab one bead.
No,
one of them. No,
oh.
you can take this one. Sorry, sure. So this is what I want. I want to make that that row here. So all the beads are facing up. So let's do the second one. So I did the first one. Now I'm taking a bead and I'm going in between. So I want to stay close to that bead. So I'm grabbing the white backing, go through the white backing, go through the gray, make sure, you see I'm a little too far here. So I'm gonna do that again, like that. My bead is sitting funny, in a funny way. So my thread is here, and I'm gonna go from the bottom of the bead to the top. I'm pulling and tight. So pull on your thread to make it tight. And you see how those beads start to sitting like that? I don't know why I love doing this technique. It's like it's
satisfying.
It is like, oh, everything is close up. So I've got my bead. Again, I want to stay close to this one. I'm gonna go through the white backing, through the gray backing, make sure I'm not too far down. Like that. Taking my needle. My bead's gonna sit funny, but we're gonna go back through the bead. So my bead is there, my thread is in the back here, and I'm gonna go from the bottom to the top. Okay, and that's it. So going through back, and you see here it's a little too much of a fabric because it is it's sliding. That's why, because it's not glue. Yeah. So my bead is sitting funny, and then I'll go back into the bead from the bottom to the top. Oops. Is it clear for everyone? Do you have any question to if something is funny for you here? So again, pull on your thread so everything can close and the bead will be snug together. And here I'm using a black thread, but for the demonstration. But if I was something that I was making at home, I will use a white thread because I don't want to see this black there. That, and then I go through the bead from the bottom to the top.
Cindy's asking, so you can see thread on top of the beads?
Yes, but then we're gonna do a picot edge, so it's not done.
That'll hide the thread.
Yes. So again, I'm going close to the bead, in the white backing, in the gray backing. Put on my thread, and then so my thread is in the back, and I'm bringing the needle from the bottom to the top of the bead.
Mary says you are a very good teacher.
Oh, thank you, Mary. And then I pull tight, and when I pull tight, this close, and then all the beads get together. So I'm not gonna finish, it's gonna take longer to do the whole row, but when you get to the last bead, okay, so so you get to that point here, and you bring your last bead here, and your thread's gonna be on top like that. So you think, okay, what do I do with that? Well, go back inside the bead. So let's say I'm here, right? So go back inside that bead. So I'm gonna do it here. Go back inside the bead, and what I like to do to make it more secure, I go through other beads too. So what I do is I'm going a little inside the gray backing, go back in that bead, go back to another bead. So it's to secure your thread. Okay, so you do this, and sometimes I even do like, you can do a little knot like that here. So you see how I'm taking just a little of backing with my needle, and I'm gonna make a knot, and then I don't know if the knot that form, I cannot see, but anyway, I don't think I did. Let's do that again.
Mary says, I don't want a picot edge. Can I go back to front instead of front to back the second time I go through the bead?
To front, I didn't quite understand. Sherry, did you understand?
No.
I think she means like,
I wasn't paying attention.
When you go back through the bead to straighten it up, can you go through it from the back? I think
so. This is not a picot edge.
Yeah, she's saying she doesn't want a picot edge on top of it.
Okay, so you can just leave it this way, like I did on this one. This one doesn't have a picot edge, and that's fine.
If you use a thread that matches the bead color better, it's not as noticeable.
Exactly.
But Cynthia's using this thread so you can see it easily while she's doing it.
Yes. So right now I'm showing you, and I just realized that if I'm doing a picot edge, I won't do a knot because I will start doing my picot edge. But because I wanted to show you the how to secure that and to finish, I did this way. So look at this one here. You barely see the thread because the thread is dark and the beads are dark. And I didn't do a picot edge on this one because I didn't know how to do a picot edge when I did that pendant. But this is a really big Swarovski, and I added some big crystal here, and then some little beads here. So I hope I answered your question, Mary. That was Mary. And now let me show you how to do the picot edge.
Lanny's asking, is that Becky? Yes, it's me.
Yes, it is.
And Barbara says, I am watching during my lunch hour. You make me want to go home and bead for the rest of the day.
Good. I like inspiring everyone. So here, oops. Oh, wow. Look at that. What is my needle? Not. It seems like my needle is stuck on my
glue it in there?
I know. Sherry, do you think you can take it out? My hands are a little slippery. So now I want to show you how to do the. Did I glue the needle?
Let's see. I've got a pair of pliers here. Let's see if we can pull it out with that.
Oh, that's really funny. While we're waiting, here another one where I just finished with that brick stitch row. Again, you can barely see the.
There you go.
You can barely see the thread on that.
Yeah, it looks like maybe there's some glue there.
Okay. So now my thread is white. I didn't pay attention to that. So maybe if I go here, is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So let's do that. And so here is on my last bead. And you see there is a little space here. So I want to tie that up. So I just need to do, it's to go through that first bead that I did. And if I pull on my thread, those two beads gonna tie up. And then, so I went through that bead, and I'm gonna go back to that bead that I finished. Oops. And I'm kind of making a loop, and I should tie up everything. And my thread is not. There we go. And then, and if I pull, yep, it's tied up. You see? So now it's closing. So now I want to do the picot edge, and I'm thinking, let's go back to those blue beads like that. You can see better. So a lot of time I do not count things, but I should. Because for the picot edge, you basically need two beads. You need to go from one bead to another. So you should have a even count number of beads around here to be able to finish nicely with the picot edge. when I did the first sample, that didn't happen. But I was able to trick it. And, oh, should we kind of have your tool again of my needle? Oh, there we go. That's fine. Thank you. So if you look at here, let's see, like that. I ask everyone, look at my work and let me know where you don't see 3 beads together. It was really hard for people to figure it out where I didn't have 3 beads. Because I didn't have 2 beads left to do my work, I could only use 2 beads, and this is where I use only 2 beads here. And sorry you cannot really see, but so what I'm saying is, if you don't have if you have an odd number, you can always trick this way if you don't care that is not the right number.
Well, everyone says it's gorgeous. So.
Oh, thank you. I love this one too.
Lanny's asking, what is the center stone?
Is the Pawa shell. Comes from New Zealand. Oh, they're beautiful. It's a Cabochon. So, to do the picot edge, so let's see.
Cindy says, and that is where I put my bail. Where she runs out of room on the picot edge.
Yes, exactly. And you can do picot edge different ways. On this one, I put spaces. You see, so I did 1 bead here. No, I did 2. No, this one is a regular one. I know that somewhere I did another one.
Oh, where you skipped a space?
Yeah, so you can skip a space very easily. On this one is also 2, and you see how you can do also fun beads with it?
Oh, so you went through an O bead, added a seed bead, and went back through the same O bead.
Yes. And let's see this one. Okay, so I don't remember which one, but let's start on this.
Somewhere.
Maybe Sherry can find it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the picot edge is very easy. You need to pick up 3 beads, so I came out of 1 bead here. So I'm picking up 3 beads. And I'm just going back from the top to the bottom to the bead that is beside it. So I'm going to go through here. There. Cute. You see these cute little 3 beads together? So my thread is coming on the back through that bead. So I'm going to go to the next bead. And I'm going to go from bottom to top. Like that. And I'm ready to add my 3 bead. So I've got my 3 bead on my needle, and I'm gonna go to the next bead. Like that. So I'm in the back, I'm going to the next bead. So that's why I said you need a even number, because you're using 2 beads at a time. And here I'm using 3 beads the same, but you could have that bead being a dagger, being a super uno, a Swarovski. Yes, I use some Swarovski too. So that's all you do. You're going to the next bead. Pick up 3 beads. Going to the next bead.
Judy's asking, are you picking up the gray backing or just beading? Are you running your needle through the gray backing for this?
I don't. I just go through the bead. You could go through the gray backing, that's fine too, but when I go just through the bead, then you don't see my thread really, because the thread we kind of hide in between, like that. And then taking those 3 beads, and I'm go to the next bead. Isn't that cute? So that's all you do.
I love that.
And like here, there is another example of picot edge that I did. So I did three here, 3 seed bead. Then I added the crystal bead, so I went through that bead here, put my crystal, put my seed bead, went back to the seed bead, went back to the crystal, went back to the same bead here, and went to the next and do another 3 like that. So that's really cute too. There are so many ways you can finish it. And now I'm gonna show you how to finish this. And I'm hoping, sorry, this is kind of a shiny. So what I did, so I have here only my 2. So now I can show you what's happening. So I used 2 beads here, sorry. So I used 2 beads, and then I have only 1 bead left. And of course I thought, bummer. I didn't count. That's me. I never count things. So I thought, okay, let's try with only 2 beads. So what I did is I had my 2 bead and went back through the same bead, not beside, went back through the same, and I'm putting on it like that. And you can barely see the difference. So now you need to make a knot. And you want the knot to be kind of hidden. But first what I like to do is also I like to secure that. So I'm gonna go through this edge bead here, not those 3 beads, just that one. There. Just to secure my work. I like to go through beads just to make sure. There we go. So now let's see. Make sure that everything is working here. Like that. Is that working? Oops, sorry, Vicky. Okay, not. Okay, so I went to 1 bead. I'm gonna go down to this one. And I want to make a knot. There. So the way how I do my knot, I just go kind of under, let's go this way, kind of under, close to a bead, and I'm grabbing some of the backing, of course. I did glue my needle on that. And then if I tied, and then so what I do is I can do another one. I like to do double. And then to hide the knot, I'm gonna go through the bead that is on top of it. That's why I like to do close to a bead. And then if I pull on it, whoops, and I put my thread out of my needle, I can hide my knot like that. So then bring your needle, your thread on other beads like that. You can make another knot if you're not sure, and then you just cut your thread, and you can add some glue if you want, but that's pretty much it. So I want to show you now how to I'm gonna keep that because I want to put more thread on this. I want to secure more with some other knots, but I want to show you, sorry, I'm trying to grab some thread here. Let's cut this off. How to finish, and how do I do to you can add a bell, or you can add some jump rings. So I'm going to show you how to do jump rings in the back.
Oh, Mary says she's finishing up a medallion for a headdress, and this has been very helpful.
Wow. Oh, good, good, good. So those are open jump rings. So what you want to do first, can I have one that have open jump rings, Sherry? I don't know if you can see any. I know that I have, this one here. Okay. So here I have my jump ring. You see how I just sew them? So what I like to do they open, and I knew I will do some beads here, so I crimp first my wire on those both of the jump ring before I sew it, because sometimes this is pretty loose, so I could crimp after, but a lot of time my jump ring will be very close to the work, so I cannot move my jump ring. So in that case, I prefer to hook whatever I need. I can do chain also, and on these, those are a little open, but I'm not gonna worry about that. But you want to close your jump ring first, and like I say, add your chain or your jewelry wire first. So I'm making a knot on my thread right now, and I'm gonna cut that. So now you need to think, okay, where do I want the center? So will that be like that? Is at the top here? So you look at your cabochon. This cabochon, I can, you know, there are some designs, so I can think about which is the best design that will be on top. What do I prefer? I prefer this way, because for me, I see here, I see the ocean, and I see some clouds here. So I'm thinking that's gonna be the top. What did you see in your Sherry?
I have a mountain.
You do.
I was mesmerized. I was lost in here. Yeah, a little mountain and waves of, I don't know, desert,
right,
maybe, or sea.
So your top is gonna be here then. Yes, that looks really pretty.
I love this.
Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, I want my top here, and then do I want my thread here, do I want them close, do I want them apart? So you kind of put your jump ring and decide, do I want them here, do I want him closer? I recommend to do a little wider, because if you do close like that, the pendant's gonna move too much. But if you do a little wider, that's more secure, and it will stay better on your neck. So I'm gonna do it this way. So I'm thinking about here. So you could mark, you know, place with a Sharpie, you can mark it. So I'm just placing my jump ring here, like that. And I'm thinking I don't really want my jump ring, sorry, to show. So that's why I'm bringing down. And because if I have a crimp after that, I don't want the crimp to show. So this is very easy. You're just gonna sew the jump ring on this backing. So I'm just bringing my needle. This is a little tricky because you have to bring your needle in here. So let me do that first. So I'm gonna try to make my needles getting out, or maybe this way would be better. There we go. It's like, where is my needle? Where is the end? There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna bring my jump ring. There. And like I say, I'm just gonna sew it. So I'm placing here my jump ring, and now the trick is really to be able, let's see, can I do this way? I always feel this is the hardest part because
Barbara's asking, why would you use open jump rings instead of closed? Could you use closed instead?
You could, but if I'm making, oops, I didn't grab it. If I doing a chain, well, what you could do is do a closed jump ring, and then you can hook an open jump ring with a chain on it, for example. Yeah, there is no problem using a closed jump ring. But for me, I like to put my chain right away, and then not adding another jump ring. This is what I'm saying. Oh, this thing is really tight. let's do this way. There we go. For the chain, if the chain has some good link, you can sew directly the link of the chain inside. So I'm just sewing that jump ring. And by now, I think I will change my needle and take more of the long needles like that bend. It's really useful when you have a needle that bend, because then I can easily bend it. So you see, I have a little of difficulties right now because my needle is really stiff, but if it was bending, it would be easier. So you just sew your jump ring, and I make several rounds like that, and then it's easy to just make a little knot and hide it behind those threads, and that's it. So let me show you. So you do something like that. You can do bells also.
That's so easy.
It is really easy. So this is the easiest way. Now let's see what I did differently. Let's show you things. On this one, I did, so this is a button too, and I did use a very thin leather. This is a very old piece. And what I did is, I didn't finish here. I stopped my brick stitch, and I just sew different lengths of seed beads, and that made my bell. I think that's still on the sides, right?
I believe so.
This one here, you see I just use teeny jump ring. And look how I did my my edge. This is not a picot edge. Did I do? Yeah. No, it is.
It's
sorry.
like a modified picot edge, yeah.
Yes. And then I use here a Artbeads. So that's really cute too. This is a Cabochon from a Golem. It's really cute. What do you have there, Sherry?
I have a glue-on bell.
Yes, so this is a glue-on bell. Very easy if you don't want to sew. Sorry, just glue your bell. This is a bell from Tiracast, and we have a different type of glue-on bell. And I didn't do any picot edge. So why didn't I do any picot edge? I think, to be honest, I think the reason is because I didn't know how to make a picot edge. And then if I look at it, I'm like, yeah, it would have been better without, because this is pretty busy. Here it's pretty busy too, and I want to concentrate on my cabochon. And you see the beads that I use here, those are hexagon beads. They have like 3 points, so you can use that too. Then, Sherry, what else? Oh yes, so this one,
sorry,
this one I use a soutache. So I brought my soutache, I sew my soutache with the beads, and the knot is here. So to hide the knot, I sew on top of it some more beads, and then I use the soutache to do my bell. You see how I just sew pieces of soutache, and then that did my bell. On this one again, also on this one, I did the whole edge, and then I brought my bead. Sorry, I'm having difficulties to talk suddenly. So I went inside every single bead, and I think I took a little of backing at the same time. So I sewed this bell on top of the edge. That's what I want to say.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, that's really pretty too. And what else do we have? Becky's going the other way. I have this also, and I think this one too. I sew directly my bell on top of the edge, and here I made some connections. So I just sew from edge to edge. So this is a filigree, this is a bead, and that was a charm, and I just cut the loop and made it as a cabochon.
Beautiful.
What else do we have? This one, so I did the whole piece, and then I glue it. I glue the whole thing on a filigree. And then I was able to do the bell directly on the filigree. And here, as you can see, I use some checkmate beads as a triangle. So you can use very different type of beads.
Yeah, this one you actually sewed the bail to the back.
This one, yes, I sewed the bell, and here I covered the bell, the loop of the bell, completely with the black thread because I didn't want to see any silver. And I finish here. How did I do? Oh, I sew a little jump ring here to make a tassel.
Kathy says, "Wow."
This is a button, by the way. It's one of my favorite. When I saw it, I saw it and I thought, I have to have it. I have to make something with this. And okay, another way to do a bell, I just use a little finding, and this is a link, and I just glue in between the backing. I didn't even do I didn't do an edge on that, because I used the black backing actually, so you cannot see anything. But that's another way. You can use whatever to do the bells. Like I love this one. I use a filigree, and I did some patina on it. Oh, I think it's okay, Sherry, thank you. And this one I glue actually. I didn't even sew on it. You know I glue everything. And the glue works really well. This is a ceramic. I love this one too. One of my favorite. And on this one I glue the bell also, I think. Let's see, how did I do that?
There you go.
This is a button also, and it is a glue bell. So again, if you don't want to go through sewing anything, you can always glue. The thing that you have to remember, it's where do you place it. So look at your pendant, look at where is the half of it, the middle of it, to be able to glue your bell like that. You know, it's straight and not crooked.
Kyla's asking, does the glue you're using dry clear?
It does. Yes. It does. You cannot see anything on this one. Yes. And I think I got one more here. This is a crazy one. This is one of my first one actually. And this crystal remind me of a volcano, so that's why I had the mountain around and the lava and the volcano.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
So these all look like, you know, a lot of work and a lot
Yes.
of time, but I want to show. I just did this in this is about an hour.
Yeah, in an hour. Okay.
Within the hour,
Nice.
I did this much, and it was an hour of fun. It really was. So you do an hour here, an hour there, and then pretty soon you've got just fabulous finished piece.
Exactly. And Sherry, you did this little pin that I just love.
I love the little patinaed pieces, and stacked them and beaded around. I just love that. And I didn't know, you know, I just started with a row around it. Didn't really know what was going to go next. And then I thought, okay, now it needs this, and then now it needs.
It's really beautiful. So, like Sherry said, she didn't know where to go and what to do, and that's the beauty of embroidery. You really you can do so. You can put on top of your beads. You can put some other beads. You can put different type of beads. This is a class that I took a very long time ago. That was my first ever. And we started with that in the class, and I was really sick. I was getting sick, and I had to go back home. So I look at, that was supposed to be a bracelet. And then when I was home, I started to play with it, and I started to go this way. And then I turned my work, and then I realized this looked like a bird. So I finished it with a tail. And I never finish as a bracelet. I love it this way. I decided it's just going to be a piece that I can look at it. and reminded me yeah, that is so much fun to do embroidery.
Right, that first experience. But look at that. I mean, when you say your first, right?
Yes.
It's pretty simple concepts, just over and over and over, and then by switching up colors and bead shapes and things.
Exactly.
Look what you can do.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, you can stack beads on, you can experiment. And what is easy, you don't like it, just cut the thread, take the beads out and do it again. It's that easy. Really. Okay, well, I think this is it for today.
Okay.
Sherry and I need to finish those samples. It's gonna take us a few hours to finish, but thank you so much for joining us today. Sherry, thank you for your help.
Thank you.
That was great.
Yes, this was fun.
And again, please share this video. We love inspiring other people. And remember to subscribe to our email newsletter. We have a lot more videos and some promotion on our website on artbeads.com. So thank you so much for joining us today. Bye bye. Au revoir. À bientôt.